What's good? What's good? I was having a really good back and forth conversation with someone on Instagram via direct message, about Marxism and about capitalism, fascism, communism, all of that stuff. And I was just trying to have a conversation with them. And they, throughout the course of the conversation, are really intelligent. They're like one of those people that you can tell that they're very well read. They have thought a lot about the ideology and the philosophy and everything. So they're very intelligent. Almost like to the point where I began to wonder, I wonder if this person is autistic. And apparently it might be offensive to ask that. I don't know. But here's what happened. They wrote out this really long message, and in that message, they quoted Stalin, Joseph Stalin, the murderous, extremely murderous Joseph Stalin. And they quoted him in a way where they were liking what he was saying. They were supporting his violent revolutionary efforts. And so after that, because we'd already talked a bit, I was just like, I wonder if this person is on the spectrum, because I'm beginning to see a connection in that people who are on the spectrum, yes, are often very, very, very the high-functioning ones, book smart. They can read and retain information very well, but they're not necessarily socially smart. And I'm not saying that to be critical. I'm saying that because that's the general sort of idea of autism, is that there are some social skills that somehow just do not develop. Their brains work differently. It's fascinating. I love people. I love diversity. So the diversity is fascinating. But the ramifications of that lack of social understanding, I think, lend them to more authoritarian, totalitarian ideas. It's not that they lack compassion and empathy and sort of a human connection element, but I do think that their neurodivergence does inhibit their ability to see these ideologies for how evil they really are. They have a more mechanistic sort of view of humanity in the world, and that we should all just be pieces within a construct, and we should play our parts. And I think because their minds are sort of more rigid in certain ways, they sort of project that out onto the rest of the world, the neurotypical people. Whatever the fuck neurotypical means, because I don't think I'm neurotypical. I don't think I'm on the spectrum, but I also, I don't think I'm normal. I don't know, maybe I am on the spectrum. I've been asking myself that lately. And so anyways, let me get back to the video. This person quoted Stalin positively. And after that, I had said, it is wild to me that you quote Stalin. It's wild to me, that you just have the sort of academic and intellectual prowess to, within a conversation, I don't even think this person had to go look up the quote or anything. I think they just had it in their brain and then typed it away. Because often I'll have to go look up quotes because I have a general idea, but I really want to, when I'm doing quotes, be precise. So I'd said that, and then I'd followed it up with, this is a question, are you what they would call on the spectrum? That's how I asked the question. I didn't say, are you autistic? No. I thought it was polite, And so they saw those messages, and then they stopped replying. It's been like a week or so. The Instagram page, East Texas Marxists. So you should go check them out. I think Texas, it's TX, so don't spell full Texas. East TX Marxists. I really want to have deep conversations with Marxists, but there's always the point where they stop. And apparently me asking if they were a Tistic, Twinkie, Tankie, I didn't ask that until a week after they just stopped replying. And I didn't even ask it, I just said, you're giving me Tistic, Twinkie, Tankie vibes. Tistic meaning autistic, Twinkie meaning like a twink, like a gay, like a submissive, a bottom gay usually, and a tankie. So a tankie is someone who supports violent, revolutionary communism. So I thought it was a fun little wordplay, but they probably are not going to like that, but at this point, fuck them. They were already offended, and if just me asking if you're on the spectrum offends you so much that we can no longer have a conversation, so be it. But I do think that there's something there with people on the spectrum and an inclination towards authoritarian ideologies. I feel like I had way more to talk about, and I totally just forgot. I was going to do a whole nother video. Maybe I will do a whole nother video. But one of the big things I was talking to this person about, and one of the big things I need help understanding, is that how is America capitalist right now? How are we blaming capitalism? And I'll give you an example. I think it was Nourish. Maybe I won't do the other video now. I'll just wrap it all into this. Nourish Cooperative in Michigan, I believe. I saw this post. I have not yet fact-checked it. I always encourage you to fact-check it, and if I'm wrong, send me a link, please. But Nourish Cooperative in Michigan was selling raw milk under what is called a feed license. So they were selling it as pet food. And so a cooperative meaning like you have members and it's an association and whatnot. And so their members were buying raw milk as pet food from Nourish Cooperative, and maybe they were consuming it for themselves. Maybe. I don't know. But they were buying pet food. Raw milk is illegal in a lot of places, in addition to the fact that Michigan apparently is what they call a herd share state. And so there are certain rules and regulations around production and distribution within the dairy industry that you have to abide by, that you have to participate in. Quick edit. Nourish Farms was ordered to destroy a large amount of their product. I forgot to mention that. So not only are they forced to participate in this program, but they were also forced to destroy a lot of their good merchandise. That's all. Back to the video. How is that capitalism? If a person cannot raise their cows and sell their product without rules, without regulation, without limits, without restrictions, without central planning, without being controlled, how is this capitalism? That's what I want to get to. That's what I want to get to. These people, though, I should do this whole other video on the deeply, deeply disingenuous nature of Marxists, because they refuse to acknowledge the reality that this is fascism. Because if they do, they lose. Their whole foundation is destroyed. Their entire ideological foundation and premise relies on the mischaracterization of our socioeconomic system. Their entire ideology does. Because as soon as you describe that the inefficiencies and the disparities in our economy are largely a result of corruption and central planning, opposed to actual capitalism, their entire ideology falls apart. Because it relies on the failures, the perceived failures of this capitalistic ideology that we're not living in. So I'm not trying to be malicious when I make these word games, and I told them that. I just like word games. I think most people within the community, the LGBT community, they'll call each other twinks, and they'll do it lovingly. And I want to be an ally. I don't want to be a communist, but I do want to be an ally because I love people. I love sovereignty. I love self-actualization. Self-actualized people are the coolest fucking people to be around. However, on the one side of the spectrum, you have self-actualized people. And on the other side, you have NPCs, non-player characters. People who literally do not have internal dialogues. They do not really think critically. They just do what the manipulative media tells them, and they believe what the brainwashing tells them to believe. It is so sad. A great example is like seeing all of these leftists now freaking out about Project 25. Oh no, Project 2025! Maybe you should check out Agenda 2030. Maybe you should just look at how all of these projects and agendas are part of the globalist elite's plans to enslave us. This is where we have common ground. If you're worried about Project 2025, go check out Agenda 2030 and get back to me. And let's stop letting these globalist, elitist, aristocrats control and manipulate us. We have so much more in common than the elites would want us to believe, but they're so good at dividing us. Check out my video from yesterday. I really want to invest in that idea, that community conversations idea, because I think that's going to be key for getting us out of this. I just need some donation money first, please. This is a long video. If you actually made it this far, maybe throw me a shekel or two. Alright, I think I'm going to end it there. Much love to all my Tistic, Twinkie, Tankie friends out there.